Hello and welcome to part 2 of the CreppyPasta Friday the 13th special. So let's get started on part 2. Pokemon Black. I'm what you could call a collector of bootleg Pokemon games. Pokemon Diamond and Jade, Chaos Black, etc. It's amazing frequency with which you can find them at pawn shops, Goodwill, flea markets, and such. They're generally fun, even if they are unplayable, which they often are. The mistranslations and poor quality make them unintentionally humorous. Unintentionally. I've been able to find the most of the ones that I've played alone, but there's one that I haven't seen any mention of. Bought it at a flea market about 5 years ago. That's a picture of the cartridge. Okay, so I'm not going to read that because that's the picture. The game started with a familiar Nidorino and Gengar intro of Red and Blue. However, the press start screen had been altered. Red was there, but the Pokemon did not cycle through. It also said Black version under the Pokemon logo. Upon selecting the new game, the game started at Professor Oak's speech, and it quickly became evident that the game was essentially Pokemon Red version. After selecting your starter, if you looked at your Pokemon, you had an initial Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle, another Pokemon, Ghost. The Pokemon was level 1. You had the sprite of the Ghost that encountered in the Lavender Tower before obtaining the Silph Scope. It had one attack, Curse. I know there is a real move named Curse, but the attack did not exist in Generation 1, so it appears it was hacked in. Defending Pokemon were unable to attack Ghosts. I will say they were too scared to move. And the move Curse was used in battles. The screen would cut to black. The crowd of defending Pokemon would be heard, but it was distorted. They got a much lower pitch than normal. The battle screen would reappear, and the defending Pokemon would be gone. If using a battle against a trainer, when the Pokeballs representing the Pokemon would appear in the corner, they would have one fewer Pokemon. The implication was that their Pokemon died. What's even stranger is that after defeating the trainer scene, Red received $200 from winning. The battle commands would appear again. If you selected one, the battle would end as normally. You could also select Curse. If you did, upon returning to the overworld, the trainer's sprite would be gone. After leaving and re-entering the area, the spot where the trainer had been would be replaced with a tombstone, like the ones at Lavender Town. The moon Curse was unusable in all circumstances. It would fail against Ghost Pokemon, it would also fail if it was used against trainers that you have to face again, such as your rival or Giovanni. It was usable in your final battle against him, however. I figured this was a gimmick of the game, allowing you to use the previously uncapturable Ghost, and because Curse made the game so easy, I essentially used it through the whole adventure. The game changed quite a bit after defeating the Elite Four. After viewing the Hall of Fame, which consisted of Ghosts and a couple of Pokemon used for HMs, the screen cut to black. Fox appeared with words, many years later, and then it cut to Lavender Town. An old man was standing looking at the tombstones. You realized this man was your character. The man moves at only half of your normal walking speed. You no longer had any Pokemon with you, not even Ghosts, who up to this point had been impossible to remove from your party through depositing in the sea. The overworld was entirely empty. There were no people at all. There were still tombstones of trainers that you used Curse on, however. You could go pretty much anywhere in the overworld at this point, though your movement was limited by the fact you had no Pokemon to use HMs. And regardless where you went, the music of Lavender Town continued on an infinite loop. After wandering for a while, I found that if you go to Digger's cave, one of the cuttable bushes that normally blocks your path on the other side is no longer there, allowing you to advance and return to Palatine. Upon entering your house and going to the exact tile where you start the game, the screen would go black. The sprite of a Caterpie appeared, which was replaced by a wheel and then a Pidgey. I soon realized, as the Pokemon progressed from Rattata to Blastoise, that he was the Pokemon that I used Cursed on. At the end of my rival's team, a youngster appeared, and then a bug catcher. These were the trainers I had cursed. Through the sequence, the Laventtown music was playing, but it was slowly decreasing in pitch. By the time your rival appeared on the screen, it was more than a demonic rumble. Another cut to black. A few moments later, the battle screen suddenly appeared. The trainer sprite was now that of the old man, the slave one who teaches you how to catch Pokémon in Viridian City. Ghost appeared on the other side, along with the words, "Ghost wants to fight." You couldn't use items and had no Pokemon. If you tried to run, you couldn't escape. The only option was fight. Using fight would immediately cause you to struggle, which didn't affect Ghost, but did chip off a bit of your own HP. When Ghost turned to attack, it would simply say dot, dot, dot. Eventually, when your HP reached a critical point, Ghost would finally use Curse. The screen cut to black a final time. Regardless of the buttons you pressed, you were permanently stuck in the black screen. At this point, there was only one thing you could do, was turn off the Game Boy. And then when you played again, the only option was New Game. The game had completely erased the file. I played through the game many times, and every time it ended with this sequence. Several times I didn't use Ghost at all, though he was impossible to remove from the party. In these cases, it did not show any Pokemon or trainers that simply cut to chromatic battles with Ghost. I'm not sure what the motives were behind the creator of the hack. It wasn't widely distributed, so it was presumably not for a momentary gain. It was very well done for a bootleg. It seems he was trying to convey a message. Though it seems I am the sole receiver of this message, I'm not entirely sure what it was. The inevitability of death, the pointlessness of it. Perhaps he was trying to simply morbidly inject the death of darkness into children's game. Regardless, children's game had made me think, and it has made me cry. And that is the end of part 2 of Pokemon CreppyPasta Friday the 15th special. See you in the next part.